To show you how much the world has changed, I am amazed at how my opinion has changed and how I am saying things and espousing things that I never thought I would ever say in the first place. I never thought I would say these things. Never. I never thought I'd be saying this. But we are looking at a Muslim takeover or media distraction, media complicity. What's really happening to America? Is there any place in the world? Well, I shouldn't say in the world, but because there might be some place. Not that we have anything against Muslim people or Islam or no, that's not it. But people taking over. You know, years ago in the Clearwater, Florida area, the Scientologists moved in and bought every piece of real estate you can imagine. And people went berserk thinking that the Scientologists were somehow taking it. And they turned out to be great people who didn't bother anyone. You would never know they were even there. They didn't do anything. Nothing. They just were there. That's it. They didn't go door to door. They didn't have chants in the middle of the night of L. Ron Hubbard on big speakers. You didn't even know they were there. They were Americans, spoke our lingo, respected our tradition. This is different right now because I'm saying things I can't believe I'm saying because America is losing its soul. You are seeing right now, and if you don't see this, you're not paying attention to this. And a lot of folks who are Muslim themselves say, hey, what are you getting at? Again, this is not, I don't care about. Look, if all of a sudden, you know, we all love Japanese. Look, I'm in New York City right now. We have Little Italy, Little Korea, Chinatown. We have Little Brazil. We've got Brighton Beach. We've got Little Odessa. We have places where people have assimilated and added so much to the flavor, not only with food, but they never wanted to take over. Even in areas with Hasidic Jews, Lubavitchers, Hasidim, Orthodox, they might have their own particular way of thinking, their own particular way of handling disputes and the like, but I never felt that our core traditions were being at all taken over. Never. Indian communities, the Indians have assimilated. They have just been incredible groups. Maybe there was a time years ago in Florida when people were afraid that they would lose the English language. Florida, I think, may still have the official English as the official language. But America right now is losing its soul. This is different than anything we're talking about. This is the steady erosion of our tradition, culture, values, and identity. It's no longer subtle. It's overt. It's declared. It's unapologetic. Across major cities, across the world, groups openly announce that assimilation is not their goal. Again, I was talking to a friend of mine today. He lives in Astoria, Greece, the Greek community. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Never felt we were losing, that we were becoming little Athens or something. No. It was cooperations. But people today are talking about rejecting integration into the American fabric. Instead, these people are proclaiming that their mission is to transform and to supplant and to replace American values with Muslim. Say what you want. People are. How many of you, Mrs. L and I, she pointed out to me, how many of you see, I am seeing more headscarves and more absolute full, not burqas, not hijabs, maybe abayas. I am not necessarily versed with all of the names for the articles of clothing, but there's a lot of these folks are American. They're American. And yet all of a sudden they're walking around en masse, put it this way, unapologetically. They shouldn't have to apologize for anything. I'm not suggesting they do. But basically saying, oh, no. This ain't just some funny hat. We're not just changing our name. We are 100%. We are not a part of you. And if you say something, if you bring it up, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I cannot believe that I'm saying this. You hear what I'm saying? I can't believe I'm saying this. It's like nothing I've seen before. There are folks who obviously want to invoke not just Sharia law, which is very misunderstood, but because Sharia law is not what you think. They think it's cutting hands off, and no, it's more of and they will tell you cultural dealings with commerce and the like. But they invoke now not only Sharia but foreign customs, cultural dominance as promises, not as warnings, as promises. This is not fear mongering. This is not speculation. Look at Ilhan Omar. She makes it absolutely clear. Ilhan Omar and Zoran Mamdani here in New York. It is what they themselves declare openly. If America cannot confront what is happening, the nations will lose what generations built. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, if you don't understand, you're really not paying attention. You don't want to understand. People know what I'm saying. They feel like, can I say this? Yes, you can say this. How do we handle this? Well, the first thing you do is to be aware of this and to talk about it. We do have the First Amendment. And people have the right to, and listen, I would never, ever want to throw somebody out because they're not a quote, no. But you just can't sit back and let this happen. Pay attention. Don't allow this. Don't sit there and say, wait a minute, what is going on here? I don't want to walk around and to see swaths, waves, oceans of women with eyes covered. I can't make out any. No, I don't want that. Sorry. I'll move to other countries. We'll do that. This isn't my country. This is not the way we don't look like this. We're not talking about a kippah, a yarmulke, or maybe a kufi, or an abaya, or maybe tzitzis, or a payas, I should say, or a no. There are people who, if you go to certain parts of Williamsburg, certain parts of Brooklyn, all men and women wear basically Orthodox Jewish uniform. Okay? But I've never felt this sense of, yeah, well, get used to it. Because we're spreading the no. You see what I'm saying? It's not that we see it. I don't feel like there's that there's this indoctrination or this takeover. I don't know if you're spending maybe too much time talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe that's important to you. It's not to me. It's the biggest joke ever. It is so joke. If you can't see what's happening with Jimmy Kimmel, he's going to show up. He's going to do so tonight, but he still doesn't have Sinclair. He still doesn't have Next Star. He doesn't have a lot of markets. He's just going to be there, and they're going to get rid of him at the end of the contract. It's done. It's just it was a sidestep. Bobby Dowd, love your show. Thank you, Bobby D. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. Very kind of you. These are very serious things. I love my country, and I do not want to see this happen. But the first thing we have to do is we have to talk about this. And we have to sit there and say, listen, I also want to bring something up to you. And I've talked to friends all over the place. There is a resurgence right now of emergency food and generators and water. There is so much going on right now. There is such a feeling. There is such a sense of, uh-oh, something is not right here. We're talking about, in essence, civil war, a war for our identity. False flags, strikes, supply chain collapses, domestic terrorism, Antifa, lockdowns, freakouts, BLM, EMP, riots. Shall I go on? I'm not even done. I'm not even done. It's not tomorrow's nightmare. It's today's reality. See, the systems that we trusted are crumbling by design on time. 1 week without food and you'll learn fast. 1 week without food. Remember, when when stores start closing because people are freaking out, they all close. Nobody's going to risk being some extra in Hunger Games. Once this happens, if COVID didn't teach you anything, you weren't paying attention. Cash, cards, Bitcoin, even gold, it won't feed your family, doesn't do anything. Survival is, in theory, it's primal, it's primordial, it's instinctual, it's atavistic. Food, water, energy, ammo. Food, water, energy, ammo. That's it. That's it. Think about this. And that's why my Patriot Supplies 3-month food kit matters. You better start paying attention now. Stock up and plan. And so many things. I hope you say, boy, that was a waste of time. Oh, good. Because that means it wasn't disaster. Over 2,000 calories a day, 22 meal varieties, shelf life up to 25 years. And right now, you get a 4 weeks free, a $247 bonus. The world has changed. Listen to what I'm saying. I can't believe I'm even saying this. This sounded like those crazy conservatives from the Rush Limbaugh days. That was nothing compared to this. Hunger is the oldest weapon of control. It destabilizes. It freaks people out. Don't wait for disaster to prove it. Preparation isn't paranoia. It's survival. So click the link in the description. Preparewithlionel.com. Right there in the description part right here. Secure your food. Protect your family. Secure your future right now while there's time. This isn't a joke. This isn't a joke. We're not talking about some vitamin you might or might not need. We're not talking about, no. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We're talking about serious here. Preparewithlionel.com. A lot of people are heeding the call. People know there's something very, very, very strange, something very scary going on. Things aren't the same. There's an attitude that's different. And let me also tell you something. As much as I love this president, he doesn't know what he's doing. Somebody said they saw Zelensky on Fox News. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. And let me also tell you something right now. There's some wonderful people I know who don't understand what's happening in the Middle East, with Israel, with Palestine, with Gaza. That is a powder king who don't understand BRICS, who don't. Right now, we are in the middle of UNGA. Do you know what that is? United Nations General Assembly. It is a horror show for us, an absolute horror show. Getting to the east side is a joke. It is horrid. And I'm thinking to myself, my God, can you imagine what this looks like? I mean, seriously, can you imagine? If ever there was like really a run for something, dear God. A run for. Let me explain something to you. Okay? This is the most important thing. I am not somebody who jumps along and says what everybody's saying. In fact, I'm the opposite. And you know that about me. You know that about me, and you have seen that about me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know and I know that we do not necessarily live, or I don't believe in this world of saying things just because it's kind of fun to say, okay? I will sound the alarm. I've sounded it regarding AI. Also, our own individual shortcomings, the lack of critical thinking, though, how we're just not some of us are not a very smart group of people. I'm sorry to say this, but it's kind of dangerous, and I've said this. So I've hurt some feelings, I stepped on some toes, and I can't help it. But that's just the way I am, and that's the way it is. But this is a different story right now. There are folks who absolutely are loving to tell you, we are coming to your country. We are in your country, and we are going to take over your country. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it because you're too busy about being politically correct. You don't. And the people who are opening the door for us, the people who are doing this are what you call the liberals. These are the ones who, oh, then they get so groovy. They accept everything. They have no rules. There's no dress code. There's no morality code. Nothing. That's what Charlie Kirk spoke of. That's what he was talking about. These people don't have any concern over anything. And they're just opening the door up. They're opening the door up and they're saying, we are in charge. This is the way it is. Screw you. Tough. That's the way it goes. Tough titty, said the kitty when the milk went dry. Remember that one? It's exactly what's happening. And when I tell people this, they say, oh, God, there you go again. I have a friend of mine who is I've known him my entire life, since I was 8 years old. And he is very prominent in Minneapolis. And he tells me stories, and I say, he said, isn't this shocking? I said, what's shocking isn't necessarily that. What's shocking is how you're telling me these things. You're telling me these things. And I'm listening, and it's like, my God. I can't believe how people are, how this is the most liberal person you could ever imagine. He's telling me. He's telling me. What does it mean to be American to you? What does that mean? What does it mean? Is it wearing a lapel pin? I hope not. What does it mean to you? What does America mean? It means speaking English. Primarily. Now listen, there are parts where obviously there are some people who don't even speak English very well who supposedly speak English. But that's a different story. That's a different story. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something very, very serious. What is it that's happening with these people? What is going on? How does this work? This is the part which I think is the most interesting and the most critical. And the question I'm asking you is, what are you thinking about this? What are we going to do? We're going to just tweet about it? I'm trying to sound the alarm. I'm telling you, pay attention. You may not see it like, well, in my neighborhood, we don't have to worry. That's my favorite. Well, in East McKeesport, we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. They don't know about anybody. People who reject integration into the American fabric. And what they do is they're proclaiming their mission specifically, openly. Do you understand what? Just nod to me. Nod. Because I think a lot of people know. I don't think anybody gets scared anymore. I think people are so like, well, this is just another. This is the issue du jour. This is another, a moment of political correctness. I don't think you understand what's going on here. I don't think you really understand what's happening here. Because what makes us who we are is the ability to have a core that we can build on. America is heterogeneous. We love heterogeneity. We love different. We love diverse. We really do. We've got no problem. We especially when it comes to food. We're not talking about food here. But people love this. I mean, we love this. We love food. We love this stuff. We love this. And this is the part which is the most important. This is the part, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Listen to me carefully. This isn't fear mongering. This is not speculation. I'm not just saying these crazy. I'm not talking about those liberals and all that stuff. What I'm saying to you is very simply, I'm saying something very, very scary. I'm saying something to you. We're losing our identity. We're losing who we are. And nobody's doing anything about it because they're afraid that if they say something, they're going to be considered some kind of a right winger. Tony Nick says Letterman is done. He was sarcastic, irreverent, but never funny. If not for Chris Elliott, Larry Bud Melman, Lyle, and other cameo comics, he would never have lasted. Like Lionel put it, he got out just in time. You are correct about that. It's also, my friend, it's a different time completely. It's a totally different time. You have to understand, and I'm sure you know this, that every now and then certain things change, certain behaviors, certain music changes, disco changes, vaudeville, black and white, color, movies, fast food, staying at home, eating at home, local clubs, local musicians, marching bands, skirts, low skirts, high skirts, no skirts, pants, purple hair, green hair, studs, tattoos. We're always going through transmogrifications. And what we're seeing right now is a drastic change regarding a major. I'll give you an example. I talked to a friend of mine the other day who's in the world of, and this is important, she's in the world of booking acts for, comedy or whatever. And the big business used to be after dinner kind of things, like speeches, like lecturing, like when you go and they say, tonight our guest is this, George Plimpton is going to be talking about, and you'd go before the, hardware association or something. Not anymore. They just don't have it. After COVID, it changed a lot of stuff. And there's no way to explain why that is. Is it outdated? Who knows? It's just the way it is. And this Jimmy Kimmel was on the trajectory of this world. Have you ever been in a business where you have groups of people? You've got the loud mouths, the quiet ones. Some people get along. Some of the corporate people. Even then, you have sometimes the loud mouths. Have you ever heard these people? The loud mouths. These are scary folks. And what the scary folks do is they have this group of people who kind of yell and scream. There's this group of folks who how do I say this? There's a group of folks who sort of, I don't know what the word is, but they sort of kind of they just feel like they're emboldened by everything. And after Trump came along, they, in their pocket, in their world, in where they live, they think that being a part of this kind of an anti-Trump TDS world is popular, is fun. Might be fun for them, but for the rest of the country, we don't get it. We don't get it. We don't understand it. We don't know what this is about, and we don't care anything about this anymore. We don't think the way you do. And because of that very, very important aspect of this, because of that, we don't know. So Jimmy Kimmel is the last of the trajectory. Just wave goodbye, him and Seth Meyers and other people. A lot of people got out. James Corden got out. Colbert got out. Other people. It's done. It's not. And believe it or not, do you know, interestingly enough, that Celebrity Family Feud, did you hear about this? They ran Celebrity Family Feud instead of Jimmy Kimmel. Did you know this? Celebrity Family Feud. Guess who? This is Steve Harvey, with the teeth and the whole bit. Y'all don't know. Okay, fine. Do you know that he crushed Jimmy Kimmel? Celebrity Family Feud. Years ago, when MSDNC started, there was a wonderful group of people, and they decided that they were, for whatever reasons, they were a part of this thing where they said we need to put something on the weekend. We don't really have enough, coverage, so they put on Lockup. Lockup, remember that? Lockup. They probably had their greatest ratings ever. Ever. It's the most incredible thing anybody's ever seen. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Lockup. Lockup. You heard me. Lockup. Rape scenes in, in hospitals, or prison showers. It was crazy. It was a monster. A monster. That should have given them. But what happened was, for a very long time, as you know, these folks were making money on the side from a lot of government programs and the like that supplemented this kind of idea. When you have USAID, AID, and you have just a blank check, you can do whatever you want. Those days are over, my friend. Over. So let me ask you something. Here is the question. What are we going to do about this? What are we going to do? Jimmy Kimmel doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. That's just fun. Whether you like them or not, and whether this one was funny, and doesn't matter. It's over with. It's over. It's over. Don't know how to say it in any other way. It's over. Done. Not even because they're bad. It's just over. Have I made myself clear? I think I have. I think I made myself clear in saying that it's over. It's over. I think I made myself clear. Okay. What's really going to happen is, what are we going to do about saving our civilization? What are we going to do? What do you recommend? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Because it's going to be next. We are under attack, and one of the main reasons, one of the things that scares me the most, we're going to talk about this later this evening. And by the way, I love doing this like right around 11:30 before I head on out. I like to give you my last word for the day. And we're going to be talking about that because between Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, and Kash Patel, he has the biggest, the most incompetent bunch of rubes I have ever seen in my life. I don't think the president understands. They said something about Ukraine can take it from Russia. I don't even know I don't know who's talking to the president. And I'm going to say something to you after the fact, now that it's over, and now that we're all done mourning Charlie Kirk, okay? Did you see the president's eulogy? He's talking about tariffs and how great he is. He was doing a campaign rally at a funeral, in essence. He was supposed to do a eulogium, a eulogy, an elegy, a tribute to Charlie Kirk. I love him. He's weird. He's strange. He just does stuff where he does the right thing. I think he means well. I think whoever talks to him last kind of wins him over. Have you felt like that? There's something very, very odd about this. I don't think he understands Ukraine at all. I think he has this crazy idea that somehow Russia's this big, bad, rapacious. Lindsey Graham is the most vile and despicable vermin. Gomer Pyle, Jim Nabors, is the worst of the worst of the worst. I think he's listening to that. Everybody in the United Nations, everybody in the world is acknowledging Palestine. Do you have a problem with that? Do you have a problem acknowledging Palestine? Do you? Let me ask you a question. Flat out, yes or no? And if you do, that's fine. Do you? And while you're answering that, is that a big issue for you, one way or the other? Do you think so? I'll bet you it hasn't even crossed your mind. I bet it hasn't ever crossed your mind. I bet you felt like, well, it's not a big deal for me. It's not a big deal. Do you really believe that? Are you one of these people who believes that there's no such place as Palestine? Do you believe that? Do you really believe that? Do you really honestly believe it? Honestly. Here's our friend Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin says there's no place as Palestine. Do you honestly believe that? They're just mistaken. Right, Kev? They got it all wrong. You're living in this land of there's an old joke. And my Israeli friend told me this. And Moses is by the Black Sea or wherever it is. I don't know what he is. And he's out bathing. He's got leaves his shoes and his sandals and his whatever. And he goes out and he bathes and he comes back. And, hey, he says, somebody stole my clothes. And Moses says, it's the Palestinians. And somebody said, there's no Palestinians. And he says, okay. You want to argue that? Good luck. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. You want to do that? Pick the hill you want to die on. Do you want to go to the United? Maybe you do. But this is not our concern. Whether there's a Palestine or not, God bless you. Mazel tov. Knock yourself out. Ain't my concern. I'm America. They're not talking about, I don't think in Tel Aviv they're worried about whether they're taking down the Stonewall Jackson, what am I trying to say? The statue or whatever. Please stop this. Stop this. Do you really want to do that? I don't think the president should just say, listen, we may lose a lot of lobbying money, but this isn't our fight. We're done with this. So listen, God bless you. No more. We're not spending any more. No more missiles. No more of that. That was a big mistake. Same thing for you, Ukraine. We're done. By the way, Zelensky, we want our money back. We're going to claw that back. Because I wouldn't I wouldn't buy the green bananas if I were you. What we need to worry about is, are we losing what's American and what's not? That's what I'm talking about. Are you with me on this one? Are you going to fight for your country? Are you going to fight for our tradition? Are you going to fight? Are you going to sit there and say something? If you're asked to march and asked to vote and asked to speak up, are you going to do it? Are you going to say, I'm going to let somebody else do it? I'm too busy. I'll just go online. I'll kind of weigh in. I'll say something cute, I don't get it. I really don't care. Because I think there's a lot of people in the country who I don't think they care. I really, honestly, if the country, because where they live, they don't know who's in charge. They don't know Trump doesn't matter to them. Have you ever felt like this? I do. I don't think they really understand. I don't think so. And it's sad. It's very sad. So think about that one, my friend. I want my country back. The great Russell Simmons, not Russell Simmons, Russell Smith from Amazing Rhythm says, I want my country back. And we're losing it. And we're losing it because a lot of people aren't paying attention. They just don't get it. They're just not paying it. They don't read. They watch cable news. You're not seeing anything. Oh, you might see an Ilhan Omar here or there or some, Rashida Tlaib or something. But that's about it. Or they'll make a joke about, hey, she married her brother. That's as far as it gets. That's it. They don't ask ourselves, what is the fundamental thing that makes us who we are? Sometimes there are people in musical genres. I don't know if people say genre, but genres, where they fight to hold on to it. Country music was like that. They didn't want there to be bagpipes and tubas and a lot of brass. They wanted to maintain that which is country music. Roy Acuff, by the way, was Eddie Arnold and others. This was Nashville, and they really put the lid on it. Who's going to protect America? Who's going to protect what we are? What if you come back and there are cities right now where there's nobody who speaks English? None. Where everybody's veils and hijabs and abayas and all that. And you wonder, what happened? What is this? This is St. Paul? It's gone. Gone. Now, granted, there's 340 million of us. Does that bother you? Are you going to do anything? I don't think it does. Most Americans, they say, I really don't get upset. I don't know. I'm busy. Somebody, they'll take care of that. Let Joe Rogan or whoever did. I'm busy. That's what scares me. That's what scares me. When are you going to wake up and say, wow, I got to do this? Hey, this fella was right. Because nobody's heeded the call regarding AI. Oh, that one is going to hit like you cannot even believe. Because there's no oversight. Because the people who have the president's ear are folks who run Silicon Valley. Do you hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? People don't see it. And it scares me. I was trying to tell people about what the UN was. And I'm having a hard enough time with that. It's a very scary world, my friend. And don't think that we are not beyond the notion of World War III either. So the good news is, Bobby Dowd, thank you, BD. And Tony Nick, you are a great and a glorious man with that wonderful homage to Chef Boyardee, who actually was a real person. A real person. I heard something today which is very interesting. Do you know that when the telephone came about at first, nobody really knew, well, what do we do with it? And Alexander Graham Bell wanted people to answer the phone, ahoy. And then it became oi, and which is the British kind of a hey kind of a thing. And then later on, it was Thomas Edison who said, no, we want it to be hello. That was actually, they were discussing. Nobody knew how to work this thing. As far as the valedictory, the sayonara part, it was agreed, suggested by Thomas Edison, that that is all. Instead of goodbye, that is all. Think about that, my friends. Think about that and let that marinate. Love your country, but if you don't pay attention to what's happening, they're going to take it from you. And if you think I'm kidding, if you think I'm exaggerating, if you think, oh, he's just saying that just to get these numbers and clicks, which is wonderful, by the way. Love you to like the video and subscribe. And yeah. But if you think that's what I'm talking about, you're not paying attention. It is scary news, my friend. And the problem is we just sat back. Just like COVID, we just sat back. Nobody said anything. Nobody. I don't want to read it. Ooh. BLM rioted until they got tired. Antifa rioted until they got tired. Until there was nothing more to take, or they figured, let's go home. We didn't stop them. We don't do anything. We don't do anything. Do you understand what's happening? We don't do anything. So, my dear friends, by the way, listen tonight on WABC at 1 a.m. Mrs. L, we're going to have Warrior Wednesday. It's a beaut. It's going to be a great day. Warrior Wednesday this eve on 77 WABC. You can go to WABCradio.com. You can get the app. 77, 770 a.m. That's tonight. In any event, my friends, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great and glorious day. God bless our country. I think she's worth fighting for. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. We're not talking violence or anything like that. We're talking about first at the borders, and now we're talking about maintaining the integrity of the soul of who we are. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. And until then, my friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.